Here's why fuck around and find out isn't going to work on the majority of people who need that reality check the most. In case you missed it, the parents of the unvaxxed child that passed away from the measles said that the disease is not as bad as they're making it out to be. Don't do the shots. Survivor bias aside, I don't know how much worse a disease can get for a person than taking one's life. Then there's the man who voted for Maga Mussolini, whose wife got detained by ICE shortly after their honeymoon, and he says that he still has no regrets about his vote. This is just a couple of examples from people who, when presented with real life, lived examples of that information that is in opposition to their beliefs, they double down. Why? There's a reason why the right has demonized education and tried to weaponize the left as the party of educated elitists, like being educated is somehow now a terrible thing. Elitists, sure, sometimes, but it's because they can't stand to be called stupid or have it be implied that they were taken advantage of. Because that would mean having to acknowledge and confront something about themselves that they could be taken advantage of or fooled, and that they're the very sheep that they love calling us. There's a reason that they choose the labels they do: snowflakes, sheep, educated, but somehow also calling us dumb. Identity is so tied up with their stances and their beliefs, which are intimately intertwined with their sense of self-worth. They'd rather die on the hill of denying any wrongdoing or that they could possibly have been fooled and not seen the reality in front of them, as we're seeing with Signalgate. And here's where shame enters. When you aren't suffocated by shame, you're able to separate behavior from identity and criticize or evaluate that behavior without wrecking one's sense of self. That's why the left, I'm generalizing, of course there are outliers, is generally able to criticize our own politicians, and I've personally never met a leftist or a Dem making a single politician or party affiliation their entire personality, complete with ugly branded goods imported from their self-professed enemy of a country. And this is why the right can never take accountability, admit their wrongs, and why it's a cult. Admitting that the cult of a religion that you have chosen to subscribe to and commit your entire personality and belief system to did something wrong would also mean that you too are the same.
I don't wish bad on nobody, but the ones that effed around and found out, congratulations. That's what you get. That's what you get. We told you. Matter of fact, your president, Donald Trump, told you what he was going to do before he even doggone got in the house. He told you that he was going to be deporting y'all. He told y'all he was getting rid of DEI. He told y'all he was getting rid of certain fundings. He told y'all he was cutting jobs. But y'all didn't want to believe nobody. Y'all kissing his butt so bad that you effed around and found out. Now you on the news crying for help. Crying for help. We told you. We told you. We told you not to vote for that clown. He don't care about nobody but himself and his counterpartners, the rich ones. We told you he don't care about the middle class or the poor. But you didn't want to listen to nobody. You didn't want to listen. You thought it was just pertaining to certain races. Now you found out. And he ain't done yet. He ain't done yet. Since he been in office, over 20,000 federal employees are unemployed. 10,000 have quit, and 10,000 have been laid off, quote unquote. And he ain't done. With the DEI, y'all thought it pertained to minorities. Little do y'all know, more white women than benefited from the DEI than any other race. Now you effed around and found out. We've been trying to tell y'all this for the longest. That man don't care about nobody but himself. This is only the beginning. You effed around and found out. I'm only saying effed around because I don't cuss, and TikTok, they so sensitive about everything. But you found out, didn't you? Now you on the news saying you shouldn't have voted for him. We told you not to vote for the dude. We told you the orange man don't care about nobody but himself and his counterpartners, the rich ones. And he's only the beginning. Now we got 4 years of dealing with this. And him and his team working on for him not ever to leave the White House until he deceased. And you one of many that voted for the dude and effed around and found out, as he told you clear as day, what he was going to do.
Stop begging people on TikTok to pay for your life. It is your responsibility to take care of you. How on earth can you guys every day be on here asking people for their hard-earned money?
Girl, Jennifer, ain't this you?
If you guys will just stay for 1 minute, all my friends, watch this video and help me. It will help me get the vibration plate that I'm wanting.
And this?
Would you guys do me a favor and please check out my showcase?
So let me get this right. It's not okay for people to reach out on TikTok to their community and ask for help if they need help with their family, with feeding their family, right? Or with basic necessities in order to survive. But it's okay for you to get on TikTok and beg your followers for a vibration plate? Are you serious, Jennifer Wilson? In case you're unaware of who this genius is, she's the woman who was touting the lie that there was a 200-foot Jesus statue erected at the White House. Made a video about it, left it up, and didn't take it down. Apologized for it, and still left the video up so that she could make some money off of it. The hypocrisy actually never stops with Maga. It's crazy. My name is Jupiter. The faster you follow me, the hotter you get. Bye.
Y'all are making me cry with this stuff. Like, I'm not kidding, because I know what's happening, because this is what I do. And you guys are listening. I mean, you guys took this within a week and are just letting it seep in there. And it's showing up in your lives. It's, how exciting. Like, I just screamed when I read that, and then I started to cry. See? That's the beauty of Trump and Elon, and the fact that they're in full power now is they cannot help themselves. Like the full evil, the full them. They were dating before, they're married now. So the married guy is going to come out. And you know, they've been deluded in a lot of ways, but a lot of them hold those same things, you know, that they believe, like that they shouldn't have a third term. They shouldn't be a dictator. They just wanted to believe in something, and it's just falling apart. And the fact that he reached out to you, oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
An unemployed Trump voter who said they voted for Trump because he promised to kill Obamacare, but says he hopes Trump keeps his hands off the Affordable Care Act, which he relies upon. Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. Here's what this guy wrote online. He wrote the following quote: "I just voted for him because he's going to kill Obamacare. I am unemployed and Obamacare effing sucks. I'd rather just have the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, by itself instead of this communism shit." And then someone responded to him by saying, "Obamacare is the ACA. It is literally keeping you alive. You voted to take away your health care." And then the original poster wrote back, quote, "Why the F do people have two different names for it? Obama equals bad and affordable equals good. I effing hate Democrats." Well, if you remember, it was the Republicans who branded it as Obamacare originally to try to scare people like you.
A woman in West Virginia who was one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters now regrets her vote for Trump because he fired her from the federal government. Just take a look at the clip.
This flag used to hang there.
This was the flag Jennifer Piggott proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary, you know, it's a really scary thing. And I was embarrassed. He's a good boy.
Piggott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Piggott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged.
Yeah, she had her flag out. She wore the t-shirt. She was very much in Donald Trump's corner, and now she regrets it. She would not have voted for Donald Trump again, and you're seeing this sentiment all over the country. There were a lot of people out there who voted for Donald Trump to lower grocery prices or lower gas prices. Now, obviously, that's not happening, and instead, he's firing people from their jobs and destroying the federal government. We are already seeing a lot of regret from Trump voters, and I think that's only going to increase, just like you saw there. A woman in West Virginia who was one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters now regrets her vote for Trump because he fired her from the federal government. Just take a look at the clip.
This flag used to hang there.
Well, everyone, Donald Trump is at it again, saying that he is now not joking about serving a third term, which we all knew he wasn't joking, but now he's saying it too. And even though the Constitution forbids a president from being elected to serve more than twice, here are 4 ways Trump could do it. They aren't exactly legal, but I mean, when has that ever stopped him? Now, before I get into the details of how exactly he could run for and potentially serve a third term, let me go ahead and remind everyone that he doesn't just say this stuff for kicks, for shits and giggles. Every time he jokes about authoritarian moves, he's really just testing the waters to see how people will react. And if there's little to no pushback, little to no disapproval, well, that's his green light to move full steam ahead with actually implementing it. But here we go. 4 ways Trump could hold on to power for a third term. He could start an on-the-ground grassroots movement to repeal the 22nd Amendment altogether, which is the legislation that keeps people from serving as president more than twice. He could use this little loophole to run as VP and then do whatever behind the scenes to immediately just become president again. He could simply just run again and hope that because the Supreme Court is stacked in his favor, that they won't stop him. And last of all, one that we've seen him try before, he could just simply refuse to leave, which we all saw how that went down last time. And y'all, let's please be so for real for a second. Trump's word means nothing. We've seen it time and time and time again. When he's backed into a corner being caught for something wrong that he did, he will literally just lie, say he never said that, say he never thought that, say he never did that. And the scary thing is, people will believe him. Even when it is on the record, written, on camera, proof of him doing and saying these things, he will literally just deny. Because this is his playbook. Say something outrageous, see who blinks, and then if no one does, go ahead and do it. And every single time, Democrats and Republicans alike roll over or shrug this off or assume he's joking, whatever excuse they give. They are essentially saying, like we saw during the election, that this behavior in particular is not a deal breaker. And that is exactly how democracies die, because the people in power assume that the person trying to take power is just joking. They won't actually do it. Our laws in the United States, our Constitution, could not be clearer. No third terms, with no exceptions for Trump because he's, just being Trump. Stop laughing. Start paying attention. Because if we've learned anything these past 10 years, it's that Trump's jokes typically come with one hell of a punchline.
Day 70 of Making America Great Again. Happy Sunday. We always got to get it together in my house on Sunday, so I'm always going to be late on a Sunday. You know. Anyways, where are the people at who have been just yapping about the Constitution and being patriots and fighters of the Constitution and blah, 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 blah? Because their president said that, quote, "I'm not joking when I say I'm trying to serve a third term." This is what he told NBC today. He had a wild Sunday. He was interviewed by NBC. He said what I just said. And he just yapped. He suggested that Americans would go along with a third term party because he's so popular. He claims that he, quotes, has the highest poll numbers of any Republican for the last 100 years. Which is obviously a lie, per usual, because when this man's mouth opens, it's a lie. His rating right now is a 47% approval rating. He also said that if Iran doesn't agree to a nuclear deal, there will be bombing. I mean, this is all just today in an NBC interview. He also talks about how ICE is going to start monitoring green card and visa applicants, their social media accounts, saying that it is a requirement, that if they want to come in, they want to get a green card or have a visa applicant, they want them to hand over their social media account information to them so that they can monitor them. I mean, it's Sunday. I didn't expect this much on a Sunday because normally he gives us a weekend off and then Monday blows up in our faces. So if this is how we start, if this is how Sunday is, Monday I feel like it's going to be like a bomb, like just everything. Because what else can you say? The man, he just don't care one bit about anything. The Constitution, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna serve a third term. I think the American citizens will be fine with that. What American citizens? Because if we're talking about MAGA American citizens, these are the people who, you know, yipped and yapped about their constitutional rights. And so if MAGA people aren't talking about how this is a threat to democracy, then you might be in a cult. I mean, we already knew you were in a cult, but to go along with this man who says, I think I should have a third term, and we're working on trying to figure out how to have a third term, that's cult. He even went so far to say that, you know, one way we could do it is basically have J.D. Vance be the president, and then he basically say, I don't want to be the president, here you go, Trump. You can look, I'm not lying to you either. You can look this stuff up. So we're talking about a coup. Is that what you call that? I think that's what you call that. Like, psych, pull the rug. Psych, JD doesn't want to, he just ran. He won, and then he doesn't want to be president anymore, so he's handing it over to me. Wake up, America. Wake up. Making America great again.
So we've got another fuck around to find out update. Dairy farmers in Wisconsin are being decimated. The dairy industry is tanking. And why? I mean, we've all heard these Trump NZs screaming from the rooftops, oh, the tariffs that Canada were imposing on their milk, on their dairy, was over the top, it was extreme. Well, it's because of, you know, they have healthy cows and they look after their animals, right? That's why they got a premium on their milk. But here's the funny thing, the dairy farmers in Wisconsin, 40% of their milk or their dairy industry is exported. And guess where it's exported to? Mexico and Canada. Well, what do you know? So now the retaliatory tariffs are now impacting them as well. I'll tell you what, man. I can't make this shit up. Go Maga.
Just hours ago, President Trump called me to tell me he is, quote, pissed off with Russia's President Putin.
I love that our president realized years after everybody else that Vladimir Putin actually isn't a good faith actor. He's not interested in friendship. He's trying to deceive Donald Trump. And while Trump pauses intel sharing with Ukraine, Putin gained more ground, killed more Ukrainians. Trump is literally being played.
Quote, if Russia and I are unable to make a deal on stopping the bloodshed in Ukraine, and if I think it was Russia's fault, which it might not be.
How would it not be Russia's fault? Russia's the one that waged the war. Russia's the one that invaded. They're the ones that can pull out and end the war at any moment.
But if I think it was Russia's fault, I am going to put secondary tariffs on all oil coming out of Russia.
It's too late. Don't mistake this for Trump being tough on Russia or whatever. He's demeaned Zelensky. He's given Russia ground. He's legitimized Putin's imperial tactics, all under the guise of putting America first. This dude literally stopped intel sharing, and it cost Ukrainian lives. You can't, after months of taking the pro-Russia stance, say that you're pissed off at Putin. He got played. He literally just got played.
Trump won West Virginia by 70% of the votes. West Virginia receives 50% of its annual budget from federal funds. Trump froze federal funds to West Virginia, and farmers are losing their farms. FAFO.
Holy shit. So, I wish that could mean we're getting a new election, because we're basically losing our president, right? So, I'm not sure who's going to step in for that role. However, we're going to keep all of the little minions, I guess. They're going to stay in there to continue to fuck everything up. That's not good news. But here's the thing. Does Elon think that him stepping away from the presidency is going to mean people are going to start buying his fucking cars again? That ship has sailed. Can't wait to see how all of this goes down for him.
And let's talk Tesla for a second. Once the crown jewel of clean energy innovation, it's now kind of just that awkward cousin at the party who used to be cool but won't stop talking politics. Stock value plummeting, consumer trust eroding, public image bruised. Turns out, alienating your diverse customer base while palling around with far-right figures isn't the branding genius move he thought it was.
I mean, you have Tim Walz, who's a huge jerk, running around on stage with a Tesla stock price, where the stock price had gone in half. And he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do. What a creep. What a jerk.
And the kicker, Elon truly believed his money would shield him, that it would buy him eternal relevance, influence, even a slice of power in whatever dystopian fan fiction he's writing in his head. But as we've all seen, on live television, in tweet threads, and in real-time market crashes, none of that fortune could save him from the fallout. His rockets? Still blowing up more than launching. His crypto love affair with Dogecoin? Basically ghosted. And his role inside Trump's fantasy cabinet? Well, let's just say it's starting to look like even the Maga camp is having buyer's remorse. Here's the real twist, though. People are fighting back. Regular Americans, along with global communities, have put their money where their values are. They've paused on buying Teslas. They've moved to EV alternatives. And guess what? It worked. The man has lost billions. Not theoretical billions, actual billions, like the kind of money that could fund public schools for a decade.
Yeah, that's Donald Trump's right-hand man and one of his biggest donors acknowledging the truth about tariffs, that they make products more expensive here in the United States. Donald Trump has tried to push this lie that tariffs actually somehow, magically, bring down costs. And Elon Musk is saying, no, sorry, that's not the truth. If members of Trump's own administration are saying, yeah, costs are going to go up because of these tariffs, that's pretty significant. I'm confident that Donald Trump and Elon Musk's breakup is going to happen really soon, and man, is it going to be glorious.
It's okay to admit you were wrong. It's okay to say you regret your vote. MAGA, I want you to realize this. I want you to think about it because it's really important. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Somebody says, see, I told you so. You should be man enough to take that kind of criticism. It's a big man that can admit when he's wrong. So admitting you're wrong can only help the United States at this point, because even you, even a MAGA chud, can see what's happening to our country. We're turning into a dictatorship. Trump is circumventing the legislative and the judicial branches of our government. He wants to be a dictator. It's like when his word is everything, and it's his opinion that matters, not what the people want, it's his opinion. So if he looks at the Smithsonian Museum and he doesn't like the exhibits that are in that, he comes out with an executive order and says, I want that removed. That's what a dictatorship looks like. That's what it's like in Russia. Have you ever lived in Russia, where if you say something that Putin does not like, you end up in a gulag? You have no fucking idea what you're throwing away when you step up to this kind of authoritarianism and cheer it on. So admitting you're wrong will only help the United States at this point. And as you watch the United States become a dictatorship, you watch the value of the dollar go in the toilet. You watch the prices of everything go up, your cost of living going through the roof. Trump just raised tariffs on cars to 25%. That's going to drive the prices of cars up, what, $7,000, something like that. I just got an email from a car company. I was looking at new cars. They said, you better buy now because we're going to have to raise the price on this car $7,000 because of Trump's tariffs. What do you think that's going to do to our economy? We're going to have some really tough times ahead. On top of that, you're watching all of your benefits be taken away. Social Security, Medicare, VA benefits, HUD. They just went after HUD and shut that. HUD, affordable housing. Anything that benefits the people of our country is being taken from us. And why is that? Because they want to shut down these agencies so that they can get their hands on the budgets of those agencies, the money. It's always about the money with these fuckers, so that they can redirect that money to the Billionaire Boys Club in the form of tax cuts, corporate welfare, and subsidies. Elon Musk gets $8 million a day from our government. Does that make sense to you? That we have a guy who is an immigrant, came from South Africa, and now he is going in, he's getting $8 million. The richest fucking man in the world is taking $8 million a day from our government, while he is telling you, you can't have Meals on Wheels. You can't have Social Security. You can't have affordable housing. You can't have health care. Does that make sense to you? I don't care how hardcore of a MAGA you are. This cannot make logical sense to you in any way. And you will feel it. So I want you to realize this.
We are now seeing egg shortages and egg rationing. That's right. Places like Walmart and Costco and Trader Joe's and other stores are actually rationing eggs. You can only buy 1 dozen eggs per person per visit. You know, how come it is every time Donald Trump is president, there are rations and we have to hoard basic necessities? Last time it was toilet paper and other things. Now it's eggs. There's video out there of people hoarding eggs, fighting over eggs. Why? Because Donald Trump is the most incompetent, worst president in all of American history. Now listen, I don't want to hear any excuses. Don't try to blame this on the bird flu or any other nonsense. This is Donald Trump's fault. Those are the new rules. These are your rules, MAGA. You told us that everything was Joe Biden's fault because he was president and he controlled the price of groceries and eggs and gas and every other damn thing.
Today we had another FAFO moment for those living in red states. 2 weeks ago, a U.S. District Federal Judge ordered the Trump administration to rehire employees in about 18 federal agencies. Today, the district judge announced that he will likely narrow his ruling to only those who participated in the lawsuit against the Trump administration, which means that only federal employees at these 18 agencies located in all blue states and the District of Columbia will be required to be rehired. Meanwhile, the 31 attorney generals who did not go to bat for their federal employees living in their states would not be required to be rehired. Some of the states with the largest number of federal employees who did not participate in the lawsuit include Virginia as well as Texas. So once again, it pays to live in a blue state where your government goes to bat for you.
Republican congressman goes on the news and has a fine, I'll say it moment. Former Florida congressman and current political analyst David Jolly went on MSNBC just yesterday and said the part that we've all been thinking out loud on air. Now for the full video, go check out my page. I just reposted a video by Shark Mama that has the full clip of what he said. Now, for those of us who were hoping that something was going to save us from another Trump term, this is definitely signaling things going in the right direction. Someone of actual, public stature is on the public mainstream news saying, what are we gonna do about this smelly orange elephant in the room? And at the same damn time, countries in the European Union are coming after Alonia for interfering in their elections. And I know we're coming really close to the wire here, but stuff's going down. No matter how many bot or MAGA comments I get telling me to shut up and move on, Trump is my daddy, etc., this is giving me motivation because finally someone is saying, are we really gonna just let